already. Knock it off.
Hey.
Brad's voice was soothing as he patted a hand on hers.
We don't have to do this if you're not ready.
She shook her head. I need to deal with this now. There are projects coming up for bid that need my full attention. Because without more work, she'd definitely lose Lawrence Construction. She blew out a shaky breath and stared at the far wall, where a photo of her grandfather hung. Jonathan Lawrence casually leaned against an excavator, with an ecstatic grin on his face at having finally purchased several pieces of construction equipment. Purchased, not leased. A huge sign of his success. It might have worked, too, if his gamble on a quick economic turnaround had panned out. She'd told him relying on loans was a bad idea. No matter how cheap the equipment seemed, better to stay small and self-reliant than expose the company to a takeover. He should have listened to her. Should've, could've, would've. Didn't. None of it was her fault, but it was definitely her problem now. And she'd deal with it by keeping Lawrence Construction. She blew her nose and leveled a gaze at Ian. How come I didn't know about this before? I thought we were friends.
We are friends, Jess. You know as well as I do that attorney-client privilege didn't extend to you while your grandfather was alive.
What a bunch of bull. She pushed back from the conference table, stood, and turned to the window behind her. Beyond the row of parked and dump trucks, the asphalt plant rumbled in the distance, churning out the material her crews would pave with later today. Under normal circumstances, the trucks would be out in the field, and the asphalt plant would have started before daylight instead of just an hour ago. Reality was brutal. Economic conditions had plunged sales to a 2-year low, with gross revenues almost even with operating expenses. She'd memorized the details. Couldn't help it. Not when there were 200 employees who were a part of the company. Some of them longer than she'd been alive. And definitely not when her son Jonathan's future was on the line, too. How long was this deal in the works? She asked, continuing to stare outside.
He'd been in negotiations with Crenshaw Industries for a few weeks.
Ian used his authoritative voice, the one that made her feel as if she needed to be on her best behavior. Like he wasn't the one who'd instigated countless high school pranks that had landed her and Brad in detention along with him. No, the irony wasn't lost on Jessica. Life was a string of ironies. Well, recession or not, it was now up to her to keep Lawrence Construction going. And that meant stepping up and doing the work. After a fortifying breath, she faced her friends. I want to turn them down myself.
Why?
Brad trained his blue eyes on her like the pain-in-the-butt big brother type he was.
Let Ian do his job. You've been through enough.
So, life doesn't hand out a pass just because things have been tough. She raised her chin. When's the meeting scheduled?
Next week.
Ian looked up from the paper in his hand.
Brad's right, I can handle it.
She forced her attention to the conference room table where she'd spent countless hours as a kid, drawing while her grandfather worked. The same table where she'd eavesdropped on company conversation and gained insight into the way the business functioned long before she went away to college. She'd started early and worked damn hard to get this far. She wasn't going to lose any of it now. I want the pleasure of turning them down myself. She lobbed the wad of tissue across the room so that it landed dead center in a garbage can by the door. That means I'm going with you.
I trust your new office is acceptable?
The old man's raspy voice blared out of the speakerphone as Daniel Spencer straightened in his seat. No matter how jet-lagged he was, any conversation with Crenshaw demanded his full attention.
Good morning, Albert.
He glanced at his surroundings, the dark furniture standard issue for a Crenshaw Industries exec.
The office is fine.
The